sounding good all the time. Thank you for making us your station of choice. Good evening and welcome to the Disability Factor, a program that seeks to amplify the voices of persons with disabilities. I'm Siphathisiwe Mpofu. On tonight's episode, we want to look at the importance of sport on the well-being of persons with disabilities. We know that a regular physical activity, sports participation, and active recreation are essential behaviors for the prevention of disease, promotion of health, and maintenance of functional independence. Sport helps to reduce stigma and discrimination associated with disability because it can transform communities, their attitudes about persons with disabilities by reducing that tendency to see disability instead of the person. So, it also actually helps to reshape assumptions about people with disabilities and what they can and cannot do. So, to discuss more on this topic, I'm joined in the studio by Job Kumunda, who is the organizing secretary for the Wheelchair Basketball Association of Zimbabwe. And to you, our valued listener, please feel free to be part of this conversation by sending in your comments, your questions via our WhatsApp platform on 0775 897 897. You can also catch us live on our Facebook page, that is Star FM Zimbabwe. Good evening, Job, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Pastor.
Okay, to kickstart our program, maybe people would want to know about the Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Wheelchair Association and its mandate. What exactly is your mandate?
Okay, Wheelchair Basketball Zimbabwe is a sport for the disabled. Actually, it's a basketball which is played on wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm.
Wheelchair basketball, it's a sport which is needed in Zimbabwe because it encourages more people with disability to intervene with more people and so and associate with able people.
Okay, what is it that would you would say shaped your role as the Secretary General of the Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association?
What happened? I actually started as a player.
Okay.
From being a player, through loving the sport and the people loving me, I just asked for them to be part and parcel of the organization, and they actually approved me to be part of the association.
Okay, and some of maybe just take us through the programs that you conduct as the Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association. The apima program amunoti aya ndo atinobatsira nawo vanenge vane talent resport kutamba basketball vari wheelchair, because totoona kuti it's not easy. You're on a wheelchair and you want to be bouncing ball. Saka ndezvipi zvamunoita kuti munge muchidzidzisa vanenge vane chido chekuti vange vachipinda musport iyi?
Actually, tikutotanga ma-programs from school levels. We are going to have my coaching clinics. Tichidzidzisa ma-teachers to how to teach people with disability to play the sport. And also we have clubs. So far in Harare we've got 3 clubs. In Mtare we've got one club called Mountain Lions. In Shavane we've got Shavane Paraplegic. In Blawayo we've got Kubeka. We've got Shining Stars. And we've got Jails G also. And also in Vic Falls we've got the Victoria Falls Warriors. That's where we are starting our trainings and also having more coaching clinics to help people to train from different provinces.
Okay, and when you do sport or mentorship programs, do you specifically focus on those who maybe have the love for basketball, or you also consider other disciplines as well, including those with various forms of disabilities?
Yes, we include them. We have got sports, the Paralympic Games. There are many sporting disciplines. We have goalball, wheelchair tennis, wheelchair racing,
Mm.
swimming, netball, and many other sports.
Okay, our time is 23 minutes to 9. Actually, it's now 22 minutes to 9. It is the program, The Disability Factor, on your number one station, Star FM, sounding good all the time. And nasi turukukurukura, neve Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association tichida kunzwisisa kuti iyo sport yakambonakirei, inobatsira sei vakaremara, ndezvipi zvavanoita kuti vange vachipinda mumitambo yakasiyana siyana. Nxake usanda kusixhuma endaweni ezichiyeneyo, siyajabula ukuba lihlanganyele lathi kulolu hlelo oluthiwa Disability Factor. Namhlanje ke sikhuluma labe Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association, besichasisela lapha ngomsebenzi abawenzayo bephathisa abakhubazekileyo abadlala ke umdlalo we-basketball. Silaye ke unobhala ovela kule nhlanganiso uJob Kumunda, onguye ke osichasiselayo ngenhlelo abaziqhubayo. Sithi okwamanje balama club achiyeneyo eHarare, Mtare, Zhishabane, Bulawayo kanye lase Victoria Falls. Njalo sithi balezinye ke inhlelo abaziqhubayo zokuthi bafundise abakhubazekileyo ngendaba zemidlalo le echiyeneyo, kodwa ke bekhangela kakhulukazi umdlalo we-basketball. Atingathi ma benefits anowanikwa nemunhu akaremara kubudikidza nekutamba mitambo, ma-benefits acho ndeapi?
Okay, the benefits of playing sports, it's about health. It will keep you fit and healthy when you play a sport, especially with the disability. You don't need to just sit at home, relax, but you should play at least a sport that will keep your body fit.
Okay, besides the health part of it, how else does it impact the life of a person in terms of their livelihoods? How does it impact their livelihoods?
At the moment, our sport is still starting. Actually, again, I can say it's still starting because we don't have any sponsorship, we don't have any help, we don't have any benefit. Actually, for the meantime, we're just playing sport is
Just for the love of sport.
that's the love of the sport, where there is no sponsorship at all.
Why are you not seeking sponsorship?
We have been seeking sponsorship, but we are not finding any sponsor who is likely to chip in and help us.
Okay, and I was going to ask about the percentage of women, because I know when you talk sport, men come to mind, boys, young men, they come to mind. What is the percentage of women with disabilities who are into sport?
Yeah, the percentage is still low. Like in terms of wheelchair basketball, out of 10 teams, we are finding we've got 3 or 4 teams for the ladies. But we are still trying by all means to have more teams, especially the ladies team, starting from the grassroots level, going upwards.
And from your observation, what would you think are the reasons for that low participation amongst women with disabilities?
The problem is about the funding. Most of our athletes or women, they are street vendors, so they can't afford to leave their markets in the streets going to play the sport, because at the end of the day they are not benefiting anything.
Okay.
That's why they find it's hard for them to come and participate in the sport, and also at home they need to eat.
Okay.
Yes.
Angati ndeipa ma-achievements enyu since matanga imimi as a Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association. What notable achievements have you recorded as an association?
Okay, we have a national team that have participated in the World Cup qualifiers. In 2017, we had both national team for the men, which came fourth out of 6 teams, and the ladies team came third out of 4 national teams in the World Cup qualifiers in 2017 in Durban, South Africa.
Okay. And in terms of you have mentioned that you have challenges there with funding. So how do you manage then to prepare for such events like you have just highlighted?
The previous event we actually sponsored by the government to go and participate in that event, but as for sponsorship and funding from other organizations or other companies, we haven't get anything yet, but we are still approaching them. So because we want to make the sports being like other sports like football, cricket, which is well known also and also played.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, someone is coming through our WhatsApp platform. Anze, hi, I am a player for Wolves, who are the champions of Zimbabwean wheelchair basketball. However, the challenge is on the resources to buy wheelchairs because being challenged is expensive. Each standard wheelchair values around 1,500 to 3,000 US dollars. This is Kelvin. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for that contribution. Maybe you can add on what he's saying. Kuti dambudziko guru riri pamaresources ekushandisa, even the wheelchairs dzacho dzekushandisa dzinodhura.
Yes, yes. Even also the transport, when we are going for training, it is expensive for them also to travel from point 1 to point B. They need transport for him personally. He needs transport for the wheelchair that he's going to use also. Those are the challenges that they are facing.
Okay, maybe just take us through so that people then understand where you are coming from. Masvika pamuno trainera pacho. Just take us through the whole process so that then people understand when you talk about cost versus the work that you do on the ground. Vanzwisisa kuti saka ndezvipi mwana ngoti asaka kungotamba basketball kunodhura chii. Maybe just take us that whole process kuti pane chakati chinoda zvakati, pane chakati chinoda zvakati.
Oh, actually, so far we don't have many schools or many clubs. I mean, sports clubs.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I think in Zimbabwe we've got about 3 or 4 sports clubs. Those are the only areas there we can only keep our wheelchairs on one place. The players, they need to travel from home to the training ground, and also when they want to train, they need sets of wheelchair. They also need the chairs. Also, the standards of the grounds here in Zimbabwe, they are not up to standard.
Mm-hmm.
They are hard surface, yet the ground should be a soft surface. So hard surface is hard for the chairs to be remain shanda in a normal sense, because at the end of the day you find you buy a chair today, after 3 or 4 training sessions the chair is finished.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the challenges that they are facing, and also the service of chairs. There is a lot of impact in playing those games. Those chairs also need service.
Okay, well, in terms of technical expertise, kind of never vacho no trainer vacho, are there people who specialize with that, or just any coach can just come and coach a wheelchair basketball?
Wheelchair basketball and stand basketball for the airport is the same sport. The rules are similar.
Mm-hmm.
Only that
they are using the wheelchair.
They are all using the wheelchairs, but the rules are the same.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone is saying, thank you for your program. My plea, the Ministry of Sports ya tibatsirao in terms of acquiring wheelchairs for sports for persons with disabilities, those wheelchairs are so expensive and are not found locally. So most of us end up giving up on sports because we can't afford to buy these wheelchairs. This is George Vururu from Milton Park. Thank you so much. And the country should should consider engagement through the Department of Social Welfare to buy those devices and also be involved. Support us. It's a very good sport. Thank you so much. Anzi nemumwe taurai neshona zviite nyore kunzwisisa. Aiwa tinotenda tinoita tichisanganisa kuitirawo nevamwewo vanenge vasinganzwi shona, which is why we then mix, but tinotenda zvikuru nekupindawo pachirongwa. Then mataura nyaya ye-challenge ye-accessibility kuti vanhu vanotambura kuti vange vachifamba kubva kudzimba vachitakurawo ma-wheelchair avo vachiuyawo ku. So in this case you are saying vari kuuya kusport iyi vanhu vanenge vazvitengera vega ma-wheelchair?
Actually there are two or three clubs or four clubs. They have managed to source sponsors vanhu vabatsira kuti vaone ma-chairs. In those clubs vakutobatsirawo mamwe ma-clubs kuti angaita se achitrainawo. Yes.
Okay, tisati tapinda nguva dzedu ndo dziri kumhanya 11 minutes to 9. Chirongwa disability factor kana muchangotibata tiri kukurukura nhasi pamusoro pemitambo nekuti yakanakirei vakaremara uye inovabatsira sei. Tiri kutaura zvedu nemunyori kubva kusangano reZimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association, rinova sangano rinoona nezvemutambo webasketball asi uri wevakaremara vanenge vachishandisawo ma-wheelchair. Anzi wheelchair basketball is not just a sport but a way of life. Thank you so much for that contribution. Okay, tinotenda. Right, vamwe tiri kukumbira kuti pamune muchinyora nyatsonyorai zvekuti tinokwanisa kunyatsoverenga zvakanaka. Hanzi ma-competitions anoitirwepi?
Okay, at the moment panguva ino kugadza kalenda redu regore rese. Kalenda redu kana buda tichange tiri publisher even ma-newspaper kopi kuti tine ma-events api because so far ma-games akanyanyozikanwa madaniko Paralympic games anouya aitambwa muna October chete ndo ma-games aizikanwa, but gore rino 2023 tiri kupromisa kuti kuchange kune ma-events akati wandei ekuti tichange chikukoka chikuradzai kuti gore rino nguva yezvozvoti hamuna January kune ma-games wakati, hamuna February kune ma-games kwakati, iti hamuna March kune ma-games kwakati.
But in terms of kuraramisa muri, can we say kuti sport iyi munhu anokwanisa kuzochengeta ana mai nana baba kumba here kuburikidza nekutamba mutambo uyu we-wheelchair basketball?
Pani zvino kuna but tiri kuzama kuti zvinge zvichidaro because mutambo wedu uyu wanga usiri kuzikanwa zvikuru. Tiri kutozama kusimudza kuti uzikanwe, tiri kutokurudzirawo even ka government itewo chipinda se ichibatsirewo because tinoda kuti iwo sport inoraramisawo vanhu vakaremara because hakuna imwe sport yanokwanisa kuita kunze kwemasport iwayo. Kune athletics ayo yanga yakabatana nemaable vanga vachibatsikana pane apo, but unoona kuti mapiro anoita maprizes akasiyana. Kune vane maine makumbo vanopiwa 1 to 10, vari kumaine mawheelchair vanongopiwa 1 to 3 kana 1 to 4. Maona kusiyana kwazvo. Saka tiri kuedza kuti zvinge zvichiita zvifanana zvichienzana.
Okay, nekuda kwenguva dzedu ndichangoti ma-minutes mashoma kune vanhu ndiri kuona vamwe vari kungoti tiri kukumbirawo kuti tifonewo makasununguka kufona pa 0772 162 651 0772 162 651 vanenge vane zvavanoda kuwedzera kana kubvunza pamusoro penyaya yatiri kukurukura nezvayo. Anzi panodawo something special panyaya yema-wheelchair. Kana kune vanobatsira ngavabatsirewo cause tine vana vakaremara kumamisha kuitira kuti vakwanise kubatsirwa. Ishmael from Highfield, thank you so much. Mumwe ari kuti anzi hi DJ ngavataure mari inodiwa because it's a great job. Thank you so much. Ndanichazouya nemvunzo iwowo pekupedzisira kuti zvirongwa zvenyu zvibudirire, muve neurongwa hwakajeka hwekuti muri kutobatsira vanhu, munotarisira mari yakaita sei?
Pane zvinoita hatisi kutarisira mari, asi kutarisira zvekushandisa. At least takwanisa kuona zvekushandisa zvacho. Vanozoda kuya uchibatsira nedzimari, asi pane zvinoti kutarisira zvekushandisa. Because mauti yacho,
asi mari iyoyo still mukaipiwa hanti munobva mangonotenga ndimi munozviziva kazvamunoda zvokuti muri kuda chii kuti mushandise kuti program yenyu ifambe zvakanaka.
Ndizvo zvoshandisa because kuti nditaure mafigure chaiwoka ndinganyeba, asi kunyanya mauche ebasketball, kune mauche ebasketball, kune mauche eracing, kune hand cycling, nematires anoshandiswa for those specific wheelchairs.
Alright, okay, timbonzwa muterera ari panapa. Hello, Star FM.
Last touch came off.
Star FM, hello. Hello, Star FM. Star FM, hello. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Anzi, please speak in all languages or English because your anzi musazonyanyira one language. Aiwa tiri kuedza. Thank you so much. Tachiedza kuti tinge tichisanganisa so that vamwe vanenge vasinganzwomwe mutauro vanobatawo zvimwe pasava anosaririra. Anzi wheelchair basketball gives us one increased independence and self-confidence. One of the most important benefits of wheelchair basketball is that it can help people who have been disabled regain their independence and self-confidence. Thank you so much for that. Hello, Star FM. Okay, I think I've lost that caller. Let me try again. Hello, Star FM. Star FM, hello. Tiripo magasimba here. We seem to be having some feedback there. Trukumbira muedzewo kufonawo zvekare. Okay, nguva dzedu dzasvika pana 5 minutes to 9. Chirongwa disability factor panefenyuro yenyu Star FM, sounding good all the time. Tiri kukurukura nhasi nemunyori kubva kusangano reZimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association. Mitambo yekunze kwenyika tima participate kune yakawanda sei uye ipi?
Pane mitambo yekunze kwenyika, I think we have participated in maybe one tournament, the World Cup qualifiers. That one, and also the previous one, which was played in 98, the Vodacom 98, which Zimbabwe won that tournament, the Zimbabwe Zebras. They did well in that tournament and came first in that particular tournament.
Okay. And then my preparations tingati amuri kuita iye zvino for the next World Cup tournament.
So far the tournament we are banned from participating in the IWBF. Because we have an outstanding credit of about 25,000. Which we are trying by all means to ask the government to chip in and help us on that. If we manage to pay that, we are able to participate in the IWBF qualifiers. But at the meantime, we are still preparing our teams at club level and provincial level.
nguva dzedu ndo dzamhanya. Ingotiudzai chingoti gaga kuti ma-future prospects, ma-plans enyu for the Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association akamira sei, ndezvipi zvirongwa zvamunazvo zvamuri kutarisira kuti pamwe makore mashanu anotevera tichange tadai.
Tikutarisa kunge mutambo wedu uchinge wakuzikanwa. Tikutarisa kunge tichisumudza maplayers akawanda, because pane zvino titone vatambi vanokwana 3 vakutambira muleague yekusouth Africa. Tine 1 akutambira United States nemumwe akambengaenda kuItaly, pane zvino vari off season akadzoka ake. Saka tikutarisa kunge tine maplayers akawanda anobudo ainotambira kunze, aiyo anoti ma-foreign based anga achiwanikwa muma-national team edu. We are trying also kusimudzira ma-teams evasikana kuti ange aone ma-players mamwe anendawo kunze ainotambira kunze.
Okay. And for those who may want to venture into sport, any other sport, not necessarily basketball, what are your words of encouragement or motivation kune vanenge vachiti tiri kuda kutryawo zvesport?
Yeah, sport is not all about basketball, but sport inoenda nedisability yako, kuti unokwanisa kutamba bhora here, unokwanisa kumhanya here, unokwanisa kumhanya neuche here, unokwanisa kumhanya nemakumbo here, unokwanisa kuswima here. Iwayo masports ese anokwanisa kuti kofundima nevanhu vakaremara. Haangoti vanhu vasina kuremara, asi anokwanisa kuti kuona vanhu vakaremara.
Aiwa, toda kuti titende zvikuru. With that, we've actually come to the end of tonight's episode of the Disability Factor. I want to thank my guest, Job Kumunda, who is the organizing secretary for the Zimbabwe Wheelchair Basketball Association. A big thank you also to my producer, Aisha Nyanzunda, as well as Arnold Bangejano, also known as Shafla. Thank you so much. He made sure that we are live on our social media platforms. My name is Siphathisiwe Mpofu. Catch me again same time next week on your number one station, Star FM, sounding good all the time. Thank you for joining us.
You've been listening to Disability Factor. Join us again next time on Star FM.